and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to another After Hours TBR. This is where I play a TBR game that you can actually play at home to select my TBR for the month. Now, I am taking part in 2 readathons this month. I will be taking part in Orilium, but I plan on mood reading my way through that TBR. Now, every Orilium, I attempt to try at least 1 book for every prompt, because the idea is that you collect different subjects for your character, and then you get given a calling, etc. Except that's not really how school works. I don't want to do subjects. I don't want to do subjects that are very specific. I want to see what my true calling is by trying a little bit of everything and seeing which calling I land in. So I'm not going to set a specific TBR for that one. However, I am going to be setting a TBR for All the World's a Page, which is the other readathon that I'm taking part in, and this is hosted by Cara from Wild Book Garden, Julia from Shakespeare and Such, and of course my bestie Olivia from Olivia's Catastrophe. I love anything to do with Shakespeare, so this is a perfect excuse for me to put loads of Shakespeare inspired books on my TBR. I obviously have the Lunar Book Club pick and the Don't Forget Your Towelathon pick, which I will need to add at some point to my TBR. But what I'm going to do first is play the game, pick some books, see if I can double up from any of my previous TBRs for those things, and hopefully I won't give myself too strenuous a TBR. Now, I am attempting the readathons because I'm not going anywhere for April or May, so I will actually have time to read the books I want to read, and that is very exciting to me. So without any more preamble, let's play the game and let's see how we get on. Now, I am not in the mood for anything in particular, so I think I'm just going to try and pick up at least 1 book of every genre. So I've got a thriller on there now, which we love to see. I didn't actually manage to read any of the thrillers from my last month's TBR, so chances are I will end up TBRing the same thrillers again. So I didn't get a chance to get to Cherish Farah, I didn't get a chance to read Things We Do to Our Friends. I've already got romance, I've already got a thriller, so let's see if we can find some others. I did, however, read the non-fiction that I set on my TBR, so I have no problem picking up another non-fiction this month. That's not a problem. You can see a middle grades there, but I'm not in the right mood. Classic. But yeah, I mean, March was a really weird reading month for me in general. I did not read nearly as much as I'd hoped to read. It's not the end of the world. I was being social. It happens. And that's the thriller again, so which means the romance is probably there as well. And I've already picked up. Have I picked up a historical fiction? I think I have. So let's go the other way now. Let's see. I think I'm just going back the way I came. I'm just going back the way I came. Oh no! The black screen of doom is already dooming. Okay. Okay, and I also need to stop walking into walls. I'm meant to be better at this. Okay, right. Oh, okay. I'm gonna run out of time before I find another one. I can feel it, but we can try. We can do our best. Anything there? No. Okay, let's try again. But yeah, I don't know what I'm in the mood for this month. There's no one genre that I really want to get to. Let's check out the non-fiction on there. I've got historical and I've got romance on there already. I'd love to find some horrors to put on. 1 middle grade is more than enough. But yeah, oh, there's some gothic. Let's aim for that. Let's see if I can find this room. I'm not really that fussed about literary. I've already got a literary book on my TBR. 1 is enough. I'd like another fantasy if I can find it. I don't know if I've come across many fantasies, unless that's the orange and I was just not paying attention. I think that was historical fiction. There it is, there's fantasy. I don't mind a couple of fantasies because the prompt for the, what do you call it? The other book club I'm in, Total Bollocks, is fantasy. We're doing high fantasy, so anything that has magic but no modern tech. So things like Crescent City wouldn't count, but like Throne of Glass and Akatar would. There's another gothic one. No harm in grabbing another gothic. I don't want any more historical fiction. And it's dooming again. Oh, there we go. We picked up a horror. I think I have one of at least every genre, which is fun. Okay, so thriller matches my outfit. Again, super easy. I am just wearing grey and black. Finding a thriller that has black or grey on the cover is not going to be difficult. Romance, a big font on the cover. Again, shouldn't be too difficult. Historical fiction, start a new series. Not what I wanted, because I'm already in the middle of like 1,000 different series. Not ideal. Okay, brilliant. Literary or contemporary lowest rated? Well, I think I already know what that one is because I TBR'd that for Gibbertathon and didn't get to it. So that's not too bad. Non-fiction and author's backlist. Now I have literally just finished all of Angela Saini's books. So I need to find another non-fiction author that I've read before that has other books. I've got non-fiction books. I don't know if they count as backlist. We will see. Middle grade found family, easy peasy. Gothic fiction, cold word title. Again, shouldn't be too difficult to find a gothic fiction with a cold word in the title. I'm sure that's manageable. Fantasy or sci-fi, disabled character rep. Again, shouldn't be too difficult. I have quite a few books that have disability rep in them. It's just finding them with the right genre might be the tricky bit, but we will see. I'm not worried about that one. Gothic fiction, found family again, and then horror, monsters. Sweet. Cool. It's a really eclectic TBR. I don't think it ticks off any of the books that I've already got on my TBR, so that's great. But I'm gonna go away. I'm gonna put my books list together, and then I will come back in a sec and tell you what I've chosen. Okay, let's start with the ones that I really need to read this month because I'm either buddy reading them or they're specifically for a book club. Obviously, we are still doing the Don't Forget Your Towelathon, so I will be reading So Long and Thanks for All the Fish. Now, we are changing how we are doing the live shows. We are not doing them monthly because some of these books have plots, some of them don't. Some of them are just vibes. So we're going to do them at the end of May. So I will TBR the next one for May and then we'll do a live show at the end of the month. So that's the first one. I'm going to be buddy reading Girl Serpent Thorn with Paige from chapter 95. I'm really excited to get to this one. I keep putting it off. This was gifted to me by Carolyn. So thank you so much for gifting this to me. I'm so sorry. It has taken me so long to get to it, but I'm really excited to buddy read because I haven't done a proper buddy read in ages. We're going to take it very chill. It's not particularly long. There aren't that many chapters, but it will also tick off a couple of the prompts for Orilium as well. I am also going to be buddy reading The Key and the Lock with Celine and Hannah. Celine from Stuff Celine Does and Hannah from Bookworm's Feast. We will be reading this all at the same time during a start to finish sprint, of which the link will be down below. So make sure to set your notification for that because we're going to be reading all day. I've got a very pretty copy and I really hope I like it because Victorian Gothic is not always my thing. I'll be honest, it's not always my thing, but I couldn't resist. That was just, it was shiny and it was pretty, and that's really all it took. Now, I'll be honest, I was not able to double up nearly as much as I would like. There are a few Orilium prompts that I can tick off, but like I said, I'm going to mood read my way through my Orilium TBR. So let's start with All the World's a Page. Now, in All the World's a Page, you have to select a couple of characters, a setting, and some like directional prompts, etc., to decide what your play is going to look like. And the first thing I did was I picked a book that had the protagonist Katerina in it from Taming the Shrew, and the prompt was mixed reviews. A book that you have seen mixed reviews for, and I will be picking up Birnam Wood. Now, yes, this is a Macbeth reference. Yes, super stunning like sprayed edges. No, haven't heard good things. Genuinely quite nervous about this one. I don't know much about it. I know that obviously it says at the top there that Eleanor Catton is a winner of the Booker Prize, but I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be any good. I don't know if this one's any good. Really mixed reviews. I don't know very much about it. I bought it purely on the title. So that's the first one. The second character that I've got is Mercutio, because it had to be Mercutio, favourite character of all time, and that is a friend's recommendation, and I will be reading Much Ado About You by Samantha Young. Now, this is not technically a recommendation. This was gifted to me by Olivia, and I thought I had to read a gifted book by Olivia for Olivia's readathon, but again, I added this to my wish list because it made a Shakespeare reference. Olivia bought it for me because it made a Shakespeare reference. I don't know if I'm actually going to enjoy this. It felt like a very cute romance when I put it into my TBR, and I don't know. I'm nervous. But this is a retelling of Much Ado About Nothing set in a cute little bookshop. So the tropes are there. The expectations are not high. So we shall see. And because I wanted more characters, I also have a third protagonist, and that is Don Pedro, a pre-order or new release. I will be reading Lady Macbethad. This is the Waterstones edition. Again, I know very little about this. other than the fact it was sold to me on title alone. You make a Shakespeare reference, I'm probably going to put it on my TBR. Really, really excited for this one as well. And I feel like sometimes I need to go in knowing as little as possible, otherwise my expectations are all over the place. So yeah, I like the fact that it feels like it's going to have like a historical vibe to it, but it's going to be a Macbeth retelling. I just feel that it's going to be great. My antagonist is going to be Iago, because he's one of the greatest antagonists in Shakespeare, and the prompt is a misleading cover or synopsis. Now I'm going for Foul Lady Fortune. This is a sequel to the Our Violent Delights duology, about one of the characters that we meet in that, so I'm not going to go too much into it. However, it has a very delicate and feminine front cover, and it's about spies, so I feel like there's going to be something misleading and duplicitous about that. So I'm really, really excited. And also this has LGBT, specifically trans rep in it, which I'm really excited for. But then, because you needed a B-list character, I went with Hippolyta, something to do with mythology. I will be reading Toil and Trouble, which is another Macbeth reference. This is an anthology all about witches, and I think that counts as mythology. This was gifted to me by Priscilla, so thank you very much, Priscilla. I'm really looking forward to this one. For setting, I decided that this would be a travelling one, so essentially where it has multiple settings, and the prompt was multicolours. I am going with This Way Madness Lies, another Shakespeare reference. This is actually a collection of short stories that are all Shakespeare retellings from a variety of different authors, including LGBT and disability rep and BIPOC rep, I believe. So really excited to get to this one as well. And of course, more Shakespeare references. I had to try and squeeze in as many as possible, and having two anthologies so I can try different authors, chef's kiss. Then we have a romance, because that's the genre that I wanted to go. I just think a romance between the angriest characters, Catherine and Mercutio, is just a wild time, and then Dom Pedro trying to set them up, because that's what he does, and Hippolyta there for the vibes. Iago trying to keep angry people apart because he's also super angry. Like, tell me you wouldn't watch that romance. Like, tell me you wouldn't watch that play. I fucking would. I'm going with Partners in Crime. Now, this was a Luna Book Club pick for last year that I started, really enjoyed, but did not finish. So I'm swinging back round to it. This is about a woman who has dated everyone that her matchmaker can set her up with and hasn't liked any of them. She wants to be married, she wants to have the perfect life, but she is not prepared to bring those walls down. However, her family are tied to crime, and she kind of bumps into one of the matches when he is there dealing with that, and they get caught up in a mafia heist. And I'm really here for it. I really liked the writing style, so I've got quite high hopes for that one. And then the final prompt, which is one of the stage directions, I went with eavesdropping, which is borrow from someone else's TBR. Now, I know that Lizzie from Bombadil's Bookish Things is going to be reading Mischief Acts at some point. I don't know for which prompt yet, because I've not yet watched their video. I just know that because they live upstairs, they have put it in their TBR pile, so I'm being very cheeky in filming this before their video goes up, but it will be up by the time you watch this. So Mischief Acts is the one that I'm stealing from their TBR, because I've got it as an audiobook, so I don't even need to borrow it from their TBR. I can literally just steal it, put it straight on my TBR, done. Cool, so now I can get into the after hours TBR, because apparently this isn't enough. So I've got more to come, so let's get on with that. The first one is a horror with monsters. Then we have Gothic Found Family. Now again, this is a sequel, so I will not be going too much into this, but The God of Lost Words is the third in the Unwritten Library trilogy, or the Library of the Unwritten. This is set in hell. It has all kinds of Gothic tropes in it, but the 4 or 5 main characters in it are very much a found family. It is very, very poignant with regards to LGBT rep and also mental health rep. It's so cleverly written. It's a great dark academia slash high fantasy, and I think everyone needs to read this trilogy. I have been putting off reading the final one because I don't really want it to end, but it is time to say goodbye to this found family and finally read the third in the trilogy. Now, I had to rely on Google on helping me find a fantasy with disability rep, but apparently The Wolf and the Woodsman has a character who is missing an eye or is partially sighted and is also missing some fingers. This apparently is also based on Jewish mythology. I don't think I've ever intentionally read something with Jewish mythology. Not as easy to say as I thought it'd be. I don't think I've ever intentionally read something with Jewish mythology, and that's not for any anti-Semitic reasons. It's just I don't get recommended them very often, so I have to actively try and find them. I'm hoping to really enjoy this because I really want to get Juniper Thorn and like buddy them up on my shelf. I just think they'll look really cute, but I don't keep books that I don't enjoy. So hopefully I will really love this one and then I can try the next one. Now this is a stretch. The prompt was Gothic cold word, and I think I acted a bit too cavalier when I was saying that I didn't think that would be a problem to find. It was a problem to find. Turns out all of my Gothic books either have 0 references to weather or temperature at all, or they are, but they're hot words. That really didn't help me. However, Lizzie, we're mentioning them again, has confirmed to me that leech is set in the Alps. And whilst leech isn't necessarily a cold word, or you could talk about the heat being leached from you, etc., it's a stretch. It's a stretch. I do appreciate that. So I'm going with it because I know it's set in the Alps. I've been told by someone who's read it and loved it. And you'll just have to let it go. You just have to let it go. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you don't. Then we had another found family prompt. I don't know if you remember. It was middle grade. And I'm picking up another book that I've been actively avoiding because I don't want the trilogy to end. This is Glass Coffin. This is the 3rd and final book in the Darkwood trilogy, which is a fantasy retelling or fairy tale retelling of pretty much all of the fairy tales, but specifically like Snow White, witchy books and things like that. It's so funny, it's so good. It's written by one of the authors who works on the Horrible Histories. It's such a laugh, and I'm so reluctant to say goodbye to this trilogy. I'm so reluctant, but I know my heart of hearts I'm gonna love this. So it's on the TBR. I'm officially TBRing it in 2023 and I'm devastated. Another book that is not just a stretch but straight up an ignore of the prompt. For non-fiction backlist author, I'm reading the content, 1-page content marketing blah 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 blueprint. This is homework from my business coach. You won't want to read this. It looks tedious. It looks so tedious, but it's homework. I've got 2 weeks to read it. I'm putting it on my TBR. So it's not my backlist, but it's homework, and I think that counts. Then we have contemporary lowest rated, and that is The Friend Scheme by K.L. Dietrich. This is an LGBT, I think it has heist references in it, like criminal families, etc., but it is a contemporary. I don't think there's any magic in it, so I'm allowing it. But this is my lowest rated on my own TBR, and I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's just that people haven't heard of this one, because I've never heard anyone talk about this, or if it's just not a particularly popular book or author. Time to find out why. Time to find out why no one seems to care about this book, because I don't know. I don't know. Then we had historical fiction start a new series, which I was thrilled about, obviously. So I found the shortest historical fiction on my shelves that was part of a series. Wings of Fury is a Roman thing that I bought this so long ago, I don't even remember what it's about. I don't remember what it's about. I think when I bought it, I thought it was Greek. It's not. It's Roman. And it's part of a series, so we're ticking boxes. I think this is also, no, it's 47 North. It's not, I think it's indie published, but not self-published. So there's that. Then we had a romance with a big font on the cover. I thought I would be gentle with myself because I've got so many quite dense books and a real variety of different genres on there. I decided I would go with Tokyo Ever After by Emiko Jean. Emiko Jean is an author whose writing style I adore in fantasy. I've never read any contemporaries by them. But this is meant to be a Princess Diaries, but with BIPOC rep book. And that's really all I needed to know. So love their writing style, interesting concept, sold. And then the final prompt was a thriller that matched my outfit, which was monochrome. So the only monochrome thriller that I have is Find You in the Dark. It's bright green on the side, but mainly it's just monochrome. And I feel like I've matched that pretty well. I don't know anything about it. This was unhauled from someone's TBR. I don't remember if it was Olivia or someone else, so I'm not going to put it on Olivia that I have this on my shelf, but let's give it a go and we'll see. We'll see. I'm not entirely sure how much I'm in the mood for a thriller, but there we go. So I'm not picking it up. It's too big a TBR. It's a long old TBR. Standard, classic Hannah. Let me know in the comments down below which book do you think I should start with for my hefty April TBR. If you just want to let me know that you were here, feel free to leave a little crown emoji in the comments down below. Make sure to treat yourself from something from Waypoint because it supports me and my content, and most importantly, have a nice day.